This is the IELTS Listening Test. You will hear a number of different recordings and you will have to answer questions on what you hear. There will be time for you to read the instructions and questions and you will have a chance to check your work. All the recordings will be played once only. The test is in 4 parts. At the end of the test, you will be given 10 minutes to transfer your answers to the answer sheet. Now turn to Part 1.
Part 1.
You will hear a conversation between 2 students talking about driving lessons. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 5.
Hi, Zach. I heard you passed your driving test. Congratulations.
Thanks, Olivia. I passed just last week. It feels great to be independent and driving on my own.
I really want to take driving lessons, but I haven't been able to find a driving school that will give lessons during the weekends, so that I don't have to miss any classes at college.
The driving school that I used was brilliant and really flexible with their teaching hours. It's really close to the school. The address is 67 King's Road. That's 67 King'(S) Road.
Oh, that's perfect. I don't like the idea of driving around busy streets. Did your teacher make you drive in urban areas, or did he mainly teach you on roads in the countryside?
My teacher said that I had to learn on both in order to become a good and experienced driver. We would start in the city centre and then drive north above the city.
He sounds like a good teacher. Would you mind giving me his contact details so I can ask him for lessons?
Of course. My mother's friend Daniel Smith referred me to him. His name is Alan Sutcliffe.
Could you spell the surname, please?
Sutcliffe.
Thanks for helping me out. I'll give him a call tomorrow. I don't know if I should learn in a manual or automatic car. How do I decide?
I wasn't sure which type of car to learn in either. In the end, I chose to learn in a manual car, because once you've learned how to drive manually, you can drive automatic as well. Most cars on the road are automatic nowadays.
Okay, I think I'll learn with a manual car too then. Hopefully the teacher will be able to give me lessons in the evenings after school.
It would be much better if you take the lessons during the day. It will be far easier for you to learn when there is enough daylight to clearly see everything going on around you. But you need to be an experienced driver to drive safely at night.
How frustrating. I was hoping I wouldn't have to take lessons during the weekends. You're right, though. Safety comes first.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 6 to 10. Now listen and answer questions 6 to 10.
Speaking of safety, you should wait until summer to start learning. It's really difficult and dangerous to drive in the wind and rain as a learner, so you should definitely wait until the weather is sunny and dry.
Okay, that's perfect actually. It will give me some time to save up some money to pay for the lessons.
Tell me about it. I had to work for months before I had enough money saved up. It was worth all the work when I finally got my driving licence, though.
The whole process is so expensive. How much did it cost you in the end?
Well, each half-hour lesson cost $30, and then the final test cost $50. In total, it cost me about $300.
Gosh, it's pretty expensive. How did you find the test? Was it really difficult?
No, it wasn't too bad, and the man was really calm and friendly. I knew that I would have to perform 2 parking manoeuvres during the test, so I practiced them a lot beforehand, and that really helped. The test used to last 40 minutes, but it changed a bit. For the first 20 minutes of the test, he gave me directions, and I had to just drive around, and then the last 10 minutes was for demonstrating the manoeuvres. So the test is 30 minutes in total.
Okay, great. I'll remember that. Do you have any more advice?
It's really good to practice driving a lot outside of driving lessons as well. Whenever my parents were running errands on the weekends, I would offer to drive them. My driving teacher also told me to buy a notebook to write down everything that I've learnt in it, like a diary.
Haha, that sounds boring, but I'll do it if it helps.
I found it really useful. Before my test, I read through everything I had written down, and it reminded me of a lot of things that I had forgotten about. It's really helpful for the theory test as well, because there's so much information to remember for it.
That's great, Zach. Thanks for your help.
No problem. See you at school.
Bye.
That is the end of Part 1. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 1.
Part 2.
You will hear the organiser of a rock festival talking to the exhibitors and performers at a planning meeting. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 17. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 17.
Good evening, everyone. I'm glad you could all make this planning meeting for what promises to be the biggest and most colourful free rock festival ever held in the South East. So whether you're a performer, a craft exhibitor or an artist, we all extend a big welcome to you. Could we turn first to the plan so I can familiarise you with the layout of the site, which, as you know, is an old football stadium. We're really lucky to have so much space this year. You can see the main gate at the bottom of the plan. Have you found it? That's where most visitors will enter. It's also the entrance for those taking part in the craft fair. We've set the stalls just inside the gate on the left in a circle. If you walk straight ahead from the gate along the path without turning right, you'll come to some steps up to the football stadium. On the left of the steps is the fringe stage. This is for alternative artists. They include folk singers, poets and other acts which are more suited to a smaller stage. And they should also enter by the main gate. On the opposite side of the steps is a restaurant, and adjoining that is the main festival information point. Here you can get extra programmes and up-to-the-minute information about events, and you can discuss any last-minute problems, although we hope everything will be running smoothly when the festival opens. Coming back to the plan, you go up the stairs to the stadium. The entrance for the rock bands is on the far side, and on your right is the main stage, which will have powerful illumination and amplification throughout the weekend. There will probably be TV vehicles adjacent, that's in this area only, for recording purposes. If you look at the outside of the plan, you can see a third gate for exhibitors, opening onto a side path. A little way down the path, before you get to the trees, is the building where the art exhibition's being housed. Then, finally, there's just one more building marked on your plan, quite near the main gate. It's divided into lock-up garages, so I hope you now feel quite familiar with the main festival area.
Before you hear the rest of the talk, you have some time to look at questions 18 to 20. Now listen and answer questions 18 to 20.
We also hope that you'll have received your welcome pack. In it, you should find 2 parking tickets for yourself and anyone assisting you, an armband to indicate that you are an official visitor, one of our brilliant yellow badges with the new festival logo, a festival programme, and several sheets of information that we'd ask you to study carefully before the event. Please could you note that all setting up of stalls, displays and so on should be completed by 9:30 a.m. and that, unfortunately, we won't be able to allow any vehicles to enter the festival area after that time. Yeah, it's a big site, but even a few vehicles parked in the wrong place can block the paths. With crowds of people, and we are expecting several thousand, this can merely be a nuisance, but if there's an emergency and access for an ambulance is blocked, the situation will become not just annoying, but also dangerous. And don't forget, it could be your mother or your child who needs help. Several exhibitors and craftspeople have asked us if any provision can be made for overnight storage of tables, chairs and display items, rather than having to take them home and bring them again. We're pleased to say that a limited amount of space has been made available in the building near the main gate. You'll be issued with a yellow ticket to reclaim your property, similar to the red parking tickets, so do check you bring the right one. But please understand that this is entirely at your own risk, as we can take no responsibility for items lost or damaged. I think that's all I have to say at this point, but thank you all for your attention.
That is the end of Part 2. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 2.
Part 3.
You will hear 2 students talking about their university studies. First, you have some time to look at questions 21 to 26.
Oh, hi, George. How's it going?
Hi, Martina. It's going well. How about you? How's university life?
Well, it's great. Apart from the studying, of course.
Yeah, me too. What are you studying? I seem to remember that you were going to do art. That was your best subject, wasn't it?
No, not really. I just liked the teacher. He was French and had an amazing accent. My favourite subject was history, but I couldn't see what career that would give me.
Ah, right. So what did you choose?
Well, I found it really difficult to decide. I was really good at science, but I must admit, I never really enjoyed studying it. So, in the end, I decided to opt for English, which was my second favourite subject, and I thought it would be more useful to me than studying anything else. So, that's what I'm doing. How are you finding university?
Well, it's a bit of a challenge, I suppose.
Are you finding it difficult?
Well, some of it. I'm doing mechanical engineering, which is really interesting, but it covers quite a lot of areas, like materials science, machine design, physics, and of course mechanics. And they're all fine, but it's maths that I'm struggling with. It's a lot harder than it was at school.
I can believe it. It all sounds very difficult to me. But then I never was very good at mechanical things. I suppose it must involve some practical work.
Well, not at the moment. Currently, it's nearly all theory, so it's a bit heavy going.
I guess you need to start with that so that you can get a grasp of the concepts and learn a few facts before you start putting it into practice. It must be a lot different to the course that I'm taking.
Yes, but in a few weeks we'll be having a lot more practical experience. In fact, I've got a great assignment this term working on jet engines, which means I'll be going on a few field trips to a nearby airport.
Oh, that's great. It sounds like you're going to be very busy.
Yes, I'm not sure how I'm going to cope with the work. We have a lot of lectures, and that's fine. The lecturers are very knowledgeable, and I learn a lot from them. But we also have a lot of seminars, and I find with so many people expressing their views, it can get quite frustrating. It would be better if we didn't have so many of those.
Yes, it's the same for me.
Now listen and answer questions 27 to 30.
How are the students at your place?
Well, I haven't really met anyone yet. They all seem a bit quiet.
Perhaps they're working hard. They don't appear to be very studious here, but they are very friendly. I must say, I've been doing a lot of sitting around and chatting over the last week or so.
Well, that's good. The only person I've spoken to really is my tutor. He's very approachable and seems to understand how difficult it can be starting university.
It's good to have someone you can talk to, and he may help you meet other students.
Actually, that doesn't bother me. I'm bound to get to know some people sooner or later. It's more a question of finding out what I need to do, where to go, and so on. I hope he can help me with that.
Oh, I would have thought so. Well, we certainly have a lot of work ahead of us. It seems like a long time, doesn't it? Studying for 3 years.
Yes, it does. But I'm sure it'll go quickly. You know, I'm really dreading the first assessment.
Yes. For the course I'm doing, we have to hand our first one in at the end of next month.
Really? So, have you got the topic yet?
No, but we'll get it soon. I'm not sure how much we have to write yet. Not too much, I hope.
I know what you mean. And it's hard to study, especially where I am now.
Oh, where are you living?
I'm living in a hall of residence. I thought that would be a good idea, as there'd be a lot of people around, but I'm finding it a bit noisy. I can see that I'm going to have problems when I really need to get down to some work.
So, I guess you need to be somewhere on your own then?
Yes. Well, I do like to have some people around me, so I'd prefer to live with a family somewhere, in a house not too far from the university.
Well, good luck with that.
Yes, thanks. And good luck to you as well. Oh, I have to dash now. I've another lecture in 10 minutes. Bye for now.
Bye.
That is the end of Part 3. You now have 30 seconds to check your answers to Part 3.
Part 4.
You will hear a lecture about nocturnal animals. First, you have some times to look at questions 31 to 40. Listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
Good morning, everyone. Today, I will discuss the fascinating world of nocturnal animals, focusing on the adaptations that enable them to thrive in darkness. Many species have evolved unique features to help them survive and avoid competition or predation at night. To begin, one of the most notable evolutionary trends among nocturnal species is the loss of certain organs that are no longer needed. Over time, some animals have developed alternative ways to navigate and interact with their surroundings, making specific body parts redundant. A great example is the cave crab, which has completely lost its eyes. Since it resides in deep, dark environments where light is scarce, vision is unnecessary, and instead, these crabs rely on other senses to detect movement and find food. This is just one example of how nature optimizes an animal's physiology according to its environment. Now, let's turn our attention to a nocturnal mammal that exhibits several remarkable adaptations: the two-toed sloth. Unlike its three-toed counterpart, this species has a far more varied diet. The key reason for this is that it forages primarily at night, which allows it to avoid competing with other animals for food resources. As a result, two-toed sloths have access to a wider range of plant species and even some small animals, unlike their more restricted relatives. Another crucial adaptation in two-toed sloths is their highly flexible head, which allows them to observe their environment more effectively. Unlike many other mammals, these sloths can rotate their heads at a much greater angle, providing them with a broader field of vision. This increased mobility is advantageous in detecting predators and potential threats, even in dense forest environments. Additionally, these animals possess the ability to regulate their body temperature based on surrounding conditions. Unlike many mammals that maintain a constant internal temperature, two-toed sloths can adjust theirs depending on factors such as humidity and ambient temperature. This helps them conserve energy, which is essential for survival, given their slow metabolic rate. Furthermore, a rather unusual but effective form of camouflage assists them in blending into their habitat. Their fur hosts algae, which give it a greenish tint, allowing them to merge seamlessly with tree foliage. This mutualistic relationship benefits both organisms. The sloth gains improved concealment from predators, while the algae receive shelter and nutrients from the sloth's fur. Moving on, let's discuss another nocturnal species, the North Island brown kiwi, which has developed distinct adaptations to survive in its habitat. This bird has evolved to be active at night, primarily to evade predators, particularly a species of eagle that once posed a significant threat to it. By becoming nocturnal, kiwis minimize encounters with these formidable hunters and improve their chances of survival. Interestingly, kiwis do not rely much on vision, as their eyes are poorly adapted for detailed sight, especially when it comes to perceiving colors. Unlike many birds that use their eyesight to locate food, kiwis compensate with an exceptional sense of smell. Their nostrils are located at the tip of their long beaks, a rare feature among birds, allowing them to detect insects and worms hidden beneath the soil. This heightened olfactory ability is a crucial survival tool in the darkness. Another surprising trait of kiwis is the size of their eggs. When compared to their body proportions, Kiwi eggs are exceptionally large. In fact, a single egg can take up about 20% of the mother's body, making it one of the most disproportionate egg sizes in the animal kingdom. This unusual adaptation ensures that kiwi chicks hatch in a well-developed state, giving them a better chance of surviving in the wild. Finally, let's turn our attention to bats, the only mammals capable of sustained flight. One of their most remarkable adaptations is the presence of specialized skin on their ears, which enhances their ability to use echolocation. Bats emit high-frequency sounds that bounce off objects, allowing them to interpret the returning echoes and navigate through complete darkness. This skill is especially crucial for hunting flying insects, which they track with astonishing precision. An additional fascinating feature of bats relates to their sleeping posture. Unlike most animals that rest on solid ground, bats sleep while hanging upside down. This is made possible because their claws remain securely hooked onto surfaces due to gravity. Unlike human hands, which require muscle effort to grip objects, bats' tendons naturally lock in place, ensuring that they do not fall while resting. This efficient mechanism enables them to conserve energy and remain safely out of reach of predators. In conclusion, nocturnal animals have developed an array of specialized traits that allow them to thrive in environments where others struggle. Whether it's losing unnecessary organs, adjusting metabolism, or relying on echolocation, these adaptations highlight the incredible diversity and resilience of life in the natural world. Now, that is the end of Part 4. You now have 1 minute to check your answers to Part 4.